Ya Shabab, I'm Kuwaiti. Whenever a movie mentions my home country in some way, it makes me more excited than my dad buying me KDD Silver on the way home from school. Today I'm highlighting Kuwait mentions in movies. Most of them I remember from when I first watched them. Others I found in Real Bad Arabs by Dr. Jack Shaheen. This is part of my Casual Arab Slander series. I'm archiving these moments with video clips and putting them into a searchable Google Sheets database so you can find them. Let's see if these moments are awesome, trash, or something in between. Yalla! Trading Places, 1983. This comedy stars Eddie Murphy and Dan Aykroyd. It was popular when it came out, and my dad loves it. Him and I watched it together recently, and yeah, it doesn't hold up. There's interesting social commentary about the rich versus poor class, but most of the jokes are dated. I don't really like it. Randolph and Mortimer get Billy Ray into their Rolls Royce. They want him to run the business, but he's skeptical. He looks at a phone and we see two clocks. One for Hong Kong and one for, ya salam, Kuwait. When I first saw this, I squealed for joy. But why would they need the time in Kuwait? The answer is tied to Kuwait's economic role in the early 1980s. During this period, Kuwait had become one of the leading financial centers in the Arabian Gulf. Fueled by oil wealth from the 1970s, it developed a strong banking system and an active stock market that was larger and more advanced than most others in the region. These characters are stock traders. They would have wanted direct access to one of the world's fastest growing financial markets. That's why both Hong Kong and Kuwait appear with clocks showing their local times. The clocks helped traders track market hours and avoid calling after trading had ended. But there's a mistake. Kuwait and Hong Kong are 5 hours apart, but the clocks in the scene show a 6-hour difference. It's a small detail, but makes for a fun moment. Now you know why it's there. Half Moon Street, 1976. This erotic thriller stars Sigourney Weaver and Michael Caine. It has interesting depictions of Arabs, but today we're focusing on scenes that include quote-unquote Kuwaitis. Dr. Slaughter is talking to her colleague Julian. She tells him how her job as an academic is paying poorly. He suggests working with rich Arabs.
Every year the Kuwaitis select someone from the institute to do field research for them. First-class travel, limitless expenses, and a little extra money.
Low on money? Go to the wealthy Arabs. This is playing into the oil-rich Arab stereotype. I check every day over 100 times. I don't have an oil well in my backyard. Dr. Slaughter is talking to two men when she asks if they're from Kuwait. One of them says yes. He's wearing a suit, and that small detail actually stands out to me because it feels believable. Arabs traveling for business or internationally often wear Western-style business clothing rather than traditional dress. I like that little touch because it feels more grounded in reality. That said, they don't look very Kuwaiti to me. I'm not sure about the actor on the left, but the man on the right is Kevork Malikian. He is Armenian. This scene stays pretty neutral and there's nothing negative in the conversation. I know what you're thinking. These guys are short. I think it's fair to say Kuwaiti males hover around 170 to 182 centimeters. I'm 195 centimeters because I'm a tall freak. It's not that these guys are short, it's that Sigourney Weaver is tall. She's 182 centimeters, 6 feet in American freedom units. Sir George comes up to Dr. Slaughter and says,
"You're supposed to be with the WOG and the digital over there."
wow, that's an ethnic slur. The WOG with the dishcloth. He means the headdress Arabs wear. He's calling it a dishcloth. I did not expect that offensive jab. And she walks up to a man and, Ya Shabab, shraikum. Hal shakhs bayin Kuwaiti. The agal is 100% off. Kuwaitis don't wear the golden style agal, known as agal maqsib. It's sitting on his head correctly, but I doubt he's wearing a kahfiya. The qitra is thrown on sloppily. Real Arabs stylize the front. A blonde woman leans in and whispers to Dr. Slaughter. She says Arabs are very generous, suggesting they're wealthy and easy to influence with money. This reflects the oil-rich Arab stereotype, where wealth is reduced to a simple character trait. Dr. Slaughter responds by praising Kuwait and its social services, saying it could be a model for the rest of the Arab world. That part is positive. Kuwait does have strong public services, and that reputation is still discussed today. Then the man posing as a Kuwaiti replies,
And you? You are a model girl.
He means her body. This plays into the hypersexual Arab stereotype, where Arab men are portrayed as overly sexual and disrespectful toward women. There's also a second layer often seen in Western media, the idea that Arab men are drawn to Western women in a possessive or objectifying way. It's a recurring trope in a lot of media I see. Half Moon Street is inconsistent with its Arab representation overall. Without giving too much away, she later enters a relationship with a Palestinian man. At first it seems progressive, but by the end of the movie that impression gets undercut. Those are the main Kuwaiti related moments. I'll likely break down the rest of the film in a full video in the future because there's a lot to unpack here. Batman the movie, 1966. Most people think Batman is dark and serious. This movie is the total opposite. It's pure chaos in the best way possible. Maximum camp, maximum silliness. This movie was one of my favorites growing up. I watched it over and over as a kid and thought it was hilarious. I recently rewatched it for the first time in what has to be almost 30 years, and it's still a blast. Shark repellent? Absolute cinema. There's a plot where the evil villains plan to attack the United Nations. We get a shot of the building and in front I spot the flag of Kuwait. Awesome. Seeing it makes my heart warmer than a fresh glass of chai halib. You can also spot the flags of other Arab countries too, including Jordan, Lebanon, and Libya. There's no mystery here. It's simply a shot of the United Nations in around 1965. The flags are arranged in alphabetical order and the Kuwait one is right there doing its thing. Bulworth, 1998. This comedy movie, starring a long list of famous actors, follows a politician trying to reconnect with everyday people. Along the way, he starts developing a heart. During a political rally, Senator Jay suddenly starts rapping.
Exxon, Mobil, the Saudis in Kuwait. If we still got the Middle East, the atmosphere can wait. The Arabs got the oil, we buy everything they sell. But if the brothers raise the price, we blow them all to hell. Now let me hear you say it. Saddam Hussein.
Wow, that was rough. And yes, I mean the rapping. Let's break it down, yo. The rap throws in social commentary mixed with a handful of Arab stereotypes. There's the idea of the wealthy oil-rich Arabs, the claim that Arabs don't care about the environment, and the joke that if oil prices rise too much, America will come knocking. Some of these ideas touch on real political and economic tensions, but they're exaggerated for comedy. Then again, rap and satire often lean into drama and over-the-top lines. In the end, it's a goofy scene that gives Kuwait a quick mention through a painfully awkward rap. My final rating? Pure cringe. Surrender, 1987. Another Michael Caine film on this list. This time he's in a comedy with Sally Field. It's the classic uncomfortable rom-com trope. A woman falls in love with a man 3 times her age. Well, in this one, he's only 20 years older than Sally Field. Sean is talking to his agent, and his agent says,
"Selling everything and moving to Kuwait? Why the hell Kuwait?"
Because women can't vote there. And they flog them.
oof. 2 things. First, the voting point is a fair critique. Kuwait didn't grant women the right to vote until 2005. By modern standards, that delay is widely viewed as unacceptable, and it's part of the country's political history that is openly acknowledged today. Second, there's a line about flogging women. That's a serious accusation, and in the context of the joke, it frames Kuwaitis, and more broadly Arabs, as societies that exercise extreme control over women, including physical punishment. I know this is a comedy movie, but it's reinforcing a harsh and damaging narrative about gender relations. If somebody argues this is just a throwaway joke in a comedy, that's a reasonable defense on the surface. But here's the thing. The film is a Canon Group production. It was a company led by Israeli-American producers Manhem Golan and Yoram Globus. They're well known for making anti-Arab propaganda movies. Even in movies that have nothing to do with Arabs at all, they love to throw in jabs against them. It's sickening. Because of that, the scene doesn't feel like a joke. It's part of a wider propaganda push by the Canon Group. Surrender is a light comedy on the surface, but one that still carries ideas about Kuwait and the Arab world that are worth calling out. Operation Eichmann, 1961. A harrowing international spy thriller about a dastardly Nazi soldier. I remember this movie popping up on TCM when I was younger, and guess what I did when I saw the Kuwait scenes? Yeah. Laugh. Real quick, they say the name of my country in a weird way.
Your passport? Your ticket to Kuwait?
What is the news about my transfer to Kuwait?
Then we get this wonderful scene.
Patient and painstaking work.
That's not Kuwait. We don't have mountains. Do you know what this picture is showing? The Gulf of Naples. In Italy, I clearly recognize Mount Vesuvius in the background. I remember seeing this when I was a kid and I just burst out in laughter as soon as I saw the mountain. Why in the world did they use an image of Naples for Kuwait? Is it because the Italian flag and Kuwait flag share similar colors? I don't know. But it would be really funny if it wasn't insulting to our intelligence. If you're Italian, let us know what you think of this in the comments. Next scene, and we're in quote-unquote Kuwait. There's a man wearing an Egyptian fez. Kuwaitis don't wear fezes. Now we're in a hotel room. The style is Arabesque. Basically, it's an Orientalist idea of what Arabia could look like. There's a woman, but yeah, she's not Kuwaiti. Her clothing is completely off. My brain jumps to Turkish, but I really can't say for certain. Smell that? It's the stench of Orientalism. All the Arab countries are the same, so throw whatever clothes on them. Who cares? A man named Hakim bin Ahmed comes in. He's supposed to be a police officer. If this guy is Kuwaiti, then I must be from Antarctica. I swear I've never met a Kuwaiti named Hakim. I don't know, maybe they exist. But what I'm saying is, it isn't a common Kuwaiti name. He's dressed like a World War II British Army soldier. While Kuwait officers did wear brown khaki uniforms in the 60s, they would generally wear berets. But it still doesn't look right. The officer says Eichmann is an agent of Israel, then later refers to it as an obscene country. He extorts a bribe out of Eichmann to keep his identity hidden. Did any of this actually happen? No. In Real Bad Arabs, Dr. Jack Shaheen writes, Eichmann never resided in Kuwait. Noted Middle East history scholars Joel Benin of Stanford and Jill Crystal of Auburn told me they never read anything about Eichmann being in Kuwait. Two respected Jewish Zionist historians make no mention of Eichmann ever being in any Arab country, let alone Kuwait. Crystal and Benin both point out that the British would not have let Eichmann into the country. Kuwait was a British protectorate until 1961. Overall, this is mostly funny inaccuracies. The Next Man, 1976. Did you know Sean Connery is Saudi Arabian? It's a political thriller with espionage and oil-rich Arab countries at the center of the plot. I've got to do a full video on this because it's pretty offensive to Arabs, but for now, let's look at the Kuwait scenes. The movie begins with claiming Arab countries are conspiring to create facilities for oil production. Their leader? A Kuwaiti.
By Salah ibn Sidki of Kuwait.
He does not look Kuwaiti in the slightest. And what kind of name is that? Salah ibn Sidki? I've never heard that name because it's made up. Later, we see Kuwait at the United Nations. And this character gets a speaking role later on.
Would you rather they lie there and rock, Khalil?
Saudi Arabia wants to side with America and Israel in the 70s. All the Arab countries are against it. It's a historical fantasy that disregards the politics at the time because America always has to be the hero. This is the historical context. The United States was deeply harmed by the 1973 oil crisis. Yet discussions of the crisis often leave out why it happened in the first place. Arab oil-producing countries launched an oil embargo against nations that had supported Israel during the 1973 Yom Kippur War. The embargo was used as a political tool during a larger conflict, not simply an act of economic greed. The sudden rise in oil prices caused fuel shortages, economic stress, and public anger across the United States. Many media narratives simplified the event and framed Arabs as greedy or hostile. This helped increase anti-Arab attitudes. Harmful stereotypes that had long been used against Jewish people in cartoons and popular culture shifted to portrayals of Arabs, like the anti-Semitic greedy hook-nosed stereotype. They gave it to Arabs. It's because they framed the Arabs as greedy for doing the oil embargo. During this period, anti-Arab images in films and media became more common, like in this movie. This crisis gave propagandists and Orientalist narratives stronger material to justify fear, suspicion, and negative depictions of Arab people. They ignore the real reasons why the oil crisis happened and focus on demonizing the Arabs as greedy. It's sad. That's a handful of movies that have quick mentions of my home country, Kuwait. Some references are brief, Others have a larger role. Sadly, many carry a negative tone or rely on stereotypes. Hey, if you know any movie mentions of Kuwait, let me know in the comments. I love finding new mentions of Kuwait in movies. I added these movies to the Casual Arab Slander database. Take a look at it after watching this video. My goal is to document, educate, and explain. We become a better society when we recognize prejudice and understand the harm it can cause. Looking at these portrayals helps us learn from them, understand one another better, and build a more respectful world.